And we're gonna kick things off on Layer Cake. One of these where you could see a thrower, but throwers are just not that good in the current meta. Yet we are in South America, so of course Juju is gonna show up either in the ban stage or in the pick stage. Nothing has changed between last year and now.
First selection of Crow out here, pretty, solid. Saw this actually banned a lot. East Asia loved banning this brawler. So strong, so versatile, goes everywhere. He can play as control, he can play as a tank counter. He just does it all really fast shot speed now after the set of buff he's released. So a huge mention, also functions as an asset. I mean, he does everything right now, basically. What
I want to point out real quick, Chloe is still available. He was banned out a whopping, I think, 98-99% in East Asia and EMEA.
Yeah, look, I think can be very powerful in the more open maps, but you can break those bonds of Glowy by getting behind walls for a set period of time. Layer Cake features many of those. I like the Crow's not just an ult bot anymore. Now with an attack that comes back to him under hypercharge, and also he can get that extra poison duration on the Carrion Crow Buffy, which is another whole second that your opponents can't heal up and keeps them out of the fight. So for control, he becomes even more of a nuisance.
On the left-hand side, a lot of aggression is banned out. Mortis and Kaza have actually been two of the most picked brawlers in this region on Bounty. Leon is going to be picked up instead, another aggressive brawler, and with his lollipop drop now offering some additional speed to his teammates, he's so strong, especially at the beginning. Getting that blue star is so crucial on a map like this one. Just hide behind those walls. That's maybe why a thrower or something aggressive, maybe a BB, could still come in here.
Yeah, there are other methods of getting the blue star. Leon's great for getting you a quick rollout. Jae Young also is available in this draft. We've seen that in other regions. Kenji. Now, the holdup with Kenji is that he dashes every other attack, unless he uses the gadget that lets you dash with every attack. But do you want to use that instead of healing? It's best to use healing in all circumstances, especially in a mode where dying matters a whole lot more than others.
Yeah, star power, though, that reduces that first hit you take within a window by 70% means that he is a lot tankier than he looks on paper. Obviously, that hypercharge super still very powerful, and here's Gus again appearing. We saw him so much last month, 6 times, won all 6 sets. So sneaky, busted, I think Gus has been, and nothing overly special. Much of the same things that made him powerful beforehand. He can really give a lot of protection to that one dive brawler that wants to go in. Also can knock back with that star power super, make it harder to get at him and get his stars too.
Gus is not directly a healer, but yeah, with the shield, he's gonna do so well. Synergizes with the Kenji on the right-hand side. Meeple or Bell would have been my calls for the last pick here on the left-hand side. They need a bit of range, and with that Meeple, they can shut down even a tank, depending on which gadget you use, of course. This is gonna be our first map of the day, Layer Cake, New Heights Gaming, or the unknown rookie roster, Acre Lovers. I'm really looking forward to that one.
It's New Heights Gaming defending their honor. They took 2nd place last month. And, of course, Acre Lovers coming in for the spot of Sonia Dores, the sacrifice team. Last month, they went out so quickly. Will they be able to make an impact here? Of course, Fire Murillo has managed to make a land before. I wonder if he'll be bringing that experience online today with a brand new team.
Straight away, Super Gadget deployed here by Wesley, and Satisfier wants to try and close the gap. You notice the same for the Kaze of Senin. He really wants to make it hard for Prosy to land these big mountains of Meeple. Now, there isn't really a brawler that can benefit from that gadget by throwing stuff in, but isolating individual players and buying yourself some space for that Meeple gadget is quite important. But here's that speed boost off the lollipop drop, and my god, they are moving quick.
They're really fast. Make them in the bushes as well, and it gets even more dangerous. But look how Winona's just playing defensively, waiting for Senin to make the first move. He'll have a little bit of damage reduction, but Leon's a burst fire brawler. It's not going to help too much. Senin's just going to go for it. The sashimi slices down, will get the kill. He has no way of escaping, though. Good dodges as he tries to escape. Fire Murlo gets the kill. I can't believe it. Senin offering the peel. Also, a super that is wasted, but it's okay. He's gotten out with his life.
I mean, this is the invulnerability frames from the super. I'm fine with it. Also, he bought enough time for the star power shield to come back active again. That is brutal. Ankles are being broken here again. Fantastic use of the Slashini invulnerability frames, and Senin gets himself yet another one. Winona gets embarrassed. And now, of course, Prosy can use that super to target Satisfier inside the mansion. Acre Lovers are ahead by 6 stars.
This is ridiculous. It's far from the beginning that I expected for this match, but New Heights Gaming have earned up some utility that they can use. Senin is looking like a pretty meaty target. He knows that there's a target on his back. They actually get the kill on him. Now Winona has popped his hypercharge, and he doesn't really know what to do with it. Guess retreat. It's one of the more powerful hypercharges in the game, and they really don't have anything they can do with it. So a big loss for New Heights Gaming. They're still down by 1 star, and they have to move now 20 seconds.
See, the gadget Buffy for Bo doing some serious work. The big drawback to the Super Totem was that you have to stand so close to it. But now That extra radius means that a hypercharge super is going to come out of the mean pool now, and Senna's going to have to show some fancy footwork to dodge these shots coming in. 7 seconds, Satisfy pops a super in theory to dodge the damage away, but it's getting dangerous. New Heights are coming up. Senna's been taken out. Acre only ahead by 1, and eventually New Heights will outstrip them at the end of the round, getting up to 13 stars.
What an impressive beginning for them, though, especially Nhg pretty much soloing the left side. Got a little bit of backup from Gus, but it wasn't like Gus gave him a super or anything.
Yep.
He just had pretty solid dodges. The issue for Acre Lovers, though, is that they crumpled under defense. They're like, okay, 7 seconds left. We just got to stay alive. But you're not saying let's survive at 7 seconds left. Maybe you're saying that in the last couple of seconds. You'll see that Blue Star went to New Heights Gaming, but Acre Lovers lead off with a kill. It gets them 2 stars and the possession of the Blue Star.
Now, Winona, I think, just overestimated the speed boost off the Lollipop drop gadget as he ran headlong into the Kenji, and the Blue Star actually got taken off them straight off the rip. So Acre Lovers, moved into a defensive stance again early in the round, and that's how they struggled in that previous one. So we'd like to see Senna still get aggressive when there's a window.
Well, they managed to trap Pro for now, and combined with the Meeple Super, it gets them a pretty solid kill. Senin is deep in enemy territory. It's not going to bother Winona, but he needs a super to get out of here. This guy's a dead man walking. No heal, no nothing to get him safely back to his lines. Donates that Blue Star back to Acre Lovers. It's a tight score line with Acre Lovers in the lead by the blue.
Still a minute in the game to play. Would like to see Crow Super use on the offense this time from Acre Lovers, as it ultimately was just used to dodge shots. There's a lot of invulnerability frames on Acre Lovers' composition, plus the bubble means they can play defensively if they need to, but that's yet another straight trade that doesn't necessarily benefit New Heights Gaming. It's still 8-8 with the Blue Star on the red side.
It's interesting to see Senin posted up on this right side. You saw Prosy is kind of wandering around, like didn't want to aggress him, knows that he doesn't really have anything to deal with it. You try and box a guy, he can jump out of there, get some iframes with the super. Winona has that hypercharged Leon super now at his disposal. And his Mansions of Meeple is going to start to break things up on the front lines for New Heights Gaming. No dice on the right side. Wesley and Prosy hanging on for dear life on the left side. It's for sure a kill onto Wesley. Acre Lovers now in the lead by 4 stars, stolen back by New Heights Gaming, but still a Blue Star separation.
Yeah, the speed boost, of course, for Winona was pretty crucial there, but I'm pretty sure we saw a Kooky Popper earlier on from the reload to find that elimination on the Leon. Wesley has to respect this now, and Senin just appears out of that super. It's going to be a New Heights Gaming set as they once again make up the deficit at the end of the round.
This one was all over the place, though. I feel like Acre Lovers really had that in game number 1, and they're like, oh, wait, we're beating them. What do we do now? They had the aggression, okay? I feel like they were most comfortable on offense, but then when they fall back to defense, they don't really have anything that they can do.
Yeah, I think, look, you still have options if you are pushed into your side of the map. Look at the supers on Acre Lovers' side of the map, but that's the Crow super that's used just to dodge damage, and Murillo gives himself a bubble, but he has absolutely nothing to do with it. When you give up the map against a Meeple composition, it's probably a matter of time before you get gunned down.
And you'll see New Heights Gaming, they stick together as sort of a clump, basically. They form the spearhead into the enemy spawn. Acre Lovers, it forces them to scatter. And we also saw New Heights Gaming start to come back at the end of game number 2. They put down the Mansions of Meeple, split everyone up, and then they isolate, attack the targets individually. That's how they managed to get that lead there, fall back a little bit. They actually got a long-range snipe for that final kill. It was either Wesley or Prosy that got that one at long range, with Acre Lovers falling back all the way into their spawn. That one shouldn't have happened. It was still possible, I think, for Acre Lovers to come back.
Yeah, I think that the ability of Leon to snipe those kills off of spawn, give yourself a speed boost, or you maintain some degree of invisibility if you have a super available, it's pretty hard to just linger in the middle of the map at sort of low health. Look, Acre Lovers, I think really it's not a comp issue. I think it's really how they executed it that, and they'll be kicking themselves to not being able to get a bit more traction off that bounty set.
I'd agree, pretty good comp from both teams. They can draw off. We've seen that now. Acre Lovers, let's see if they can also take a game, maybe a set. You know, it was a pretty quick first set, that one. And we're heading over to Double Swoosh now. It's going to be our second map here, so we're on Gem Grab. Let's see how they will do. In this region, once again, Spike, Bull, and Ruffs are going to be our global bans. M's picked up very often. It's going to be banned out here from the left-hand side. Leon and Jean as well. Jean, usually that gem curry that we want to have. Let's see what they're going to pick up instead. What I always like on a map like this one is Sandy. And she was banned out, or he was banned out very often last week and actually left open wide here.
Sandy's an interesting one because if you know you're going to be playing into tanks, then it's a great option. He gets his super in 5 shots. Then you have visibility in the entire bushes. You can push people back. They don't get to heal. That's as long as you're running Rude Sands, which you should be for everyone curious or uneducated in the art of playing Sandy. So should be a high priority if you expect to face tanks. New Heights Gaming, they lead with the Chester, which has been a popular selection last week and this month, thanks to him just basically crapping out damage. He's so good at tanks. He's great in general. Sandy now, hearing from Acre Lovers, it indicates that they anticipate to play into a tank, but they could have been faked out.
I also like this from Pearl. I like the Pearl here. Obviously, a brawler that in those longer rounds can get more and more powerful, but has a shot that spreads quite, drastically, so will allow you to light up the bush area if you don't have control of it. So far, this Acre Lovers composition is great at getting information. They can spam a whole bunch, make use of the Sandstorm to light people up. Like you mentioned, it's got to be Rude Sands. But New Heights haven't really tipped their hand a whole lot here. They get a strong brawler who can be a side lane, playing mid-bow in much the same way. Another great control brawler who's a real nuisance now, especially with a super totem that covers a very wide area. More supers generally means more damage output or more disruption. It's really where you want to be right now.
Yeah, you were talking about getting information, a widespread shot. Bo is that brawler that I was waiting for here on the left-hand side. Now, will give even faster super to his teammates now. He's also one of those buffy brawlers in the recent update. Last pick now, Hera could be an option here. Shadows aren't going to be as good into Sandy, but she offers a bit more range. Otis is going to come in here. They have such a DPS heavy comp on the left-hand side with Otis and Chester. They dish out so much damage. And then with the bow, they get the information. They have area control. Really good comp from New Heights Gaming.
I like Acre Lovers finishing off with the squeak. However, I feel like New Heights Gaming have leaned really heavily into anti-tank. And what is the response to anti-tank? It's always control. Control is what beats that. Though I think the range disadvantage is a huge discussion point here. The Sandy is not going to be so great against Otis. Now, if we were to look at Acre Lovers' last set, where there was team play lacking, there were mechanics present, I believe. I feel like Nhg really impressed me off the beginning of set number 1. So if Sandy's able to weave his way forward through the bushes, I think there's big potential.
I'm here to see this bow star power, because obviously one of the circling eagle buffied star power doesn't reveal you when you fire from bushes. So super annoying. It requires your opponents to actually scout you a lot more actively while you just continue to do damage. We're only going to be the mid here and has already taken up that second gem. So that is New Heights staying in step here with Acre Lovers. And Wesley has not yet been able to get purchase on that right side of the map. Prosy, much the same way, of course, has one of the highest DPS brawlers in the game and should be able to command this left side of the map.
Winona's gotten that super also means that these bushes are going to be broken up for Acre Lovers. They won't be able to sneak around as efficiently. Fire Merlo taken down on the right side. Looks pretty good for New Heights Gaming. It'll enable them to put Prosy on that right lane instead of the left, where he just such a bad matchup versus the Pearl. Wesley with an efficient takedown onto Senate, and Prosy gets to push deep into enemy territory. With Acre Lovers now backed into their spawn, it's a bad look for them. New Heights Gaming have possession of the bush on the right, and even that Sandy super isn't really going to earn them that much.
I like the lane switch here for Prosy going over to the right side now. Wesley does still need to respect the damage output here of the Pearl. But naturally, of course, can hit hard with that super. The mute button, there it is, set in. It's just going to be muted up and easily taken down. Otis, one of the best 1v1 brawlers in the game. And Prosy is dominating the quote-unquote weak side of the map for New Heights Gaming. This is turning into a completely one-sided affair.
Yeah, the lanes were just off for Acre Lovers, unfortunately. Just a few seconds to go. New Heights Gaming are falling all the way back. Winona in spawn. Wesley just stat padding on the other side. Acre Lovers can't even be bothered to move out of their spawn. Not so great for for Acre Lovers. Acre Lovers, their deal is they actually did have good lane matchups off the beginning. They had Pearl on that left side, they had Squeak on the right side. Issue is that Pearl's so darn slow that you can't really lane swap, and you're not going to be able to get through that bush very quickly.
And you mentioned that these anti-tank brawlers can struggle against the control-oriented brawlers, where I don't want to be Otis into that Squeak matchup. I'm taking too much free damage, and I can't actually peek out from behind these buildings. You can see Wesley here is not really connecting shots. We're really able to get 2 of those stuck to Wesley, and still haven't seen that lane switch. Prosy, though, is able to dominate. Can they turn this strong left side into any map control? Simply Satisfied just doubles up with Senate here and still maintains that sort of gem parity. We need to see this switch here at some point.
Well, is Acre Lovers going to do it? New Heights Gaming, they have their lanes just how they want them. Prosy going to pop that healing to weave in, gets the 4 shot to finish off Sen, and now gets to push into the spawn. Acre Lovers on the right side have Fire Merlo in position, but he makes this weird aggressive move onto the gym carrier that was never going to amount to anything. I think Acre Lovers are grasping at straws right now. That was not a coordinated team play, just a waste of ability.
We're not able to find a super now, and that is going to clear the bushes at the north side of the gem well, which is going to be important for getting that information. The key is to turn a winning side lane into mid control, into a gem lead. New Heights Gaming have only been able to stay in step as Wesley is continuing to be kept under the thumb of Murillo, of this squeak. And there's no sign of New Heights really wanting to switch it up, but that's a mid taken down. It's an opportunity here for Winona to step up and Procy finds a hypercharged super. That's more than enough to silence the Pearl. And finally, Wesley's able to get forward.
Plenty of positioning for New Heights Gaming to play forward. 10 seconds to go, and Winona could not be more safe. Acre Lovers, they don't even want to move out of spawn. It's just like in game number 1, you could really sense the defeat in just their mechanics and the way that they were playing. Super, super disjointed. I think that the individual lanes looked fine for Acre Lovers, but it was a team play that was lacking. You see their gym carrier moving in without any support from the lanes to pick up his gym that is rightfully his. It spawned on his side, but there's no support. He ends up getting taken down by 2 brawlers on the enemy side. The lane swaps weren't really there. Lacking team play. It's so fitting for a team that doesn't have history together. They didn't even play in the qualifiers last month.
There's a bit of an issue as well when Sandy is your mid. You don't have the range to deal with both. Like, you are always going to be deprioritized in that matchup. And that's a problem. So in all things being equal, it's harder for you to contest the gems in the middle of the map than it is for the bow. You almost need both your side lanes to be doing quite well to actually give you the required edge there. And with the Sandy supers, at no point were was Senin close enough to actually get damage down as a result of those supers, or rather to build those supers and get that map control. And they just got left behind.
I mean, just look at the damage here alone from Wesley. 415 DPS, like I already stated at the beginning. They have so much damage on the left-hand side. The squeak, kind of tanky Pearl as well, but it doesn't really matter because they don't dish out as much as they can actually eat that damage. So I really feel like this time around that the comp also wasn't really in their favor. In layer cake, you could argue Acre Lovers actually quite a good comp, but in double swoosh, didn't love it. Sandy was great, but then with Sandy and Squeak, they just don't have enough damage.
I want Sandy in your strong lane, the lane where you have the bush control, because I want Sandy to be able to get free damage, maybe use a stun, final elimination, and start to cycle those supers. If you're playing Sandy mid, you don't have the range, you don't have the ability to build supers necessarily. You never hit a stun gadget on anyone, so the comp was fine, but maybe some change in the lane assignment might have been in order.
Sandy's gem carrier does work out quite often. He is used there, but at the same time, she can't really help their teammates on the left and right-hand side lane because the shot is so short. So you need someone to actually hold that lane alone, and Squeak is just not that brawler.
Yeah, it's my criticism as well of the Sandy, is that you're lacking in range. And you saw also the team play where I'm pinpointing down that, look, they're pushing in for gems. You have a gem carrier moving. In fact, one of the highlights was gem carrier moving in, doing no damage, no utility, no nothing, and just dying, and giving 5 gems to the enemy side. Now, the solution there is you need pressure. But it's not going to come from a Sandy gem carrier when you're outranged by a Bow and an Otis on the other lanes and you just get pinched at mid.
But I like the squeak into the Otis. That looked fine. I think Wesley was struggling to get purchasing that matchup. I think the issues were maybe the chest.
He had the most kills and the most DPS, so I think he did well. We're heading over to Pinhole Punt now. Brawl Ball is going to be our potentially lost map if New Heights Gaming looks as dominant as they did before. Brawl Ball is a mode that is often played on those ladder matches in ranked as well and in match arenas. And as we stated before, Acre Lovers, a very new team. Maybe they needed the first 2 sets to actually get comfortable with the situation. They never played in monthly final before. I hope now they're ready to pull their socks up.
I hope so too. I really want to see something out of Acre Lovers because just watching the way that they play as individuals, I see potential, but they need to stick together as a team longer for us to see those deep and synergies develop. The unspoken communication of, I'm pushing in, can someone cover me, please, so that I don't get pinched by 2 teammates. We'll see Glowy as their first brawler. This guy snuck through. He's not a global ban. He's not banned within here. And on Pinhole Punt, it's also a high priority because of how open the mid is. You're always going to have a sight line onto one of your teammates that's pushing the enemy goal.
Yeah, that's crucial, of course, to make sure those tethers remain intact. I think New Heights Gaming have already tipped their hand to some degree. They've picked up that quintessential anti-dive, anti-tank brawler here, but that doesn't okay. And Poco in the mix here. So they are really trying to make sure that they have a lot of their avenues covered here. Winona. They've got quality healing. They can pair this with the tank as well, but they might just be concerned about limited range in that case.
Might be a BB coming in here as last pick on the left-hand side. Both sides now have a healer. Left is Poco, right is Glowbird. Let's see with what Acre Lovers round off their comp so far.
They need an anti-tank, right?
Once again. Bo could once again be a good pick here for some spread shots, for some area control and pinhole punt where you have those bushes in the middle. Area control is so important. Meeple, very, very good because of mention of Meeple, that you throw out your gadget and you immediately have that lane for yourself. Last pick, they're going to pick the BB. Makes a lot of sense for me. They do not want to see a Poco BB comp on the other side.
So at this point, if you're New Heights Gaming, I feel like you just decide to commit on anti-tank, or you could get some assassin action to get rid of the glowy. But is the rest of the DPS sufficient for New Heights Gaming? It's really only Gale that you have as anti-tank. You see this BB, and look, gut reaction is you gotta go Bull. But the thing is, Bull has been global banned. This is something that has been planned by Acre Lovers. This is out of left field right here. Fang, okay, but if you know that your enemy's going to be grouped up and you know that they're willing to feed you a bunch of damage, then sure, go for the Brawler who super chains your movement to the backlines. Go for the glowy there and use the BB as the method to access it.
You also got the ability to stun that BB up as well, or whoever you end up landing on with that super. Fang, though, obviously doesn't feel like he does any damage at all until he's within melee range, so needs to develop that super, needs to actually get within kick range. Otherwise, it's going to be tough. Throwing slippers for the entire round, they do like 480 damage. It's not very compelling at all.
Well, I expect they'll be getting some supers before too long. The ball going to be moved over inside of the trap versus Winona. Fire Merlo getting beaten up by that CC from Winona. It's all he exists to do is push you away. You see he's also running the stun, which has been the most popular way to play Gale now. You also have the option of running slow. Winona is going to try and walk this through. The DPS is not there from Satisfyer.
Glowy has no disruption outside of that super. If you can't fear someone, they're just going to walk straight past you. Credit to Winona. Definitely feels like they can tangle with this BB by running at them, and there it is. Beautiful stun off that super from the Gale. And Fire Marilla is going to be forced out of the map. Procy gets a little bit of healing. Good map control for New Heights Gaming, but Fire Marilla is trying to make a break for it on the left side. And Wesley's not the brawler to fight the BB one-on-one.
This is what I'm talking about. I feel like as individual players, they're pretty good at having a sense for the matchups. Fire Merlo pushed through solo, and it was fine because he had the 1v1. But now about the team playing. New Heights Gaming have utility. They have Poco Hypercharge. Procy on the right side. Looked like he used his gadget. Yeah, unfortunate. It's open for Fire Merlo. He could have walked it through, but opted not to. A super, and it's just a completely thrown offense for Acre Lovers. They had that goal.
They had the opening as well. There would have been no disruption because the stun for the Fang was down, and Acre Lovers still couldn't capitalize on that moment. Wesley at least is trying to negotiate from a position of strength, but low as they are, they need to give a bit of ground. Throw the super out. Winona gets topped up a little more, but yet another Meeple super means that New Heights Gaming have got to give some ground. Here comes Fire Marilla, though. No stun off that hypercharged super from Winona, and now they're in dangerous territory. They're making use of the Twisted Gadget to try and step up, but they're just trying to make space with their life.
Look, this is their chance for a goal once again. Can Satisfyer make it happen, though? Fire Merlo sneaks around. Yeah, Acre Lovers, they had that offense. It would have honestly been kind of difficult to lose thanks to their positioning. But look at what New Heights Gaming are hanging on to. 2 hypercharges. Looks like Fing's going to go ahead. He's got 1 kill. He's got positioning in front of the goal. Fire Merlo knocks him back. Why are you passing back to Wesley? It's fine, however. He still manages to stay alive on the left side, but here's the DPS. Prozy now moving through the stun. It's completely cleared out, and New Heights Gaming are on to match point.
Okay, by no means, though, is their comp vastly better, I think, than what Acre Lovers have. The BB is terrifying. There's plenty of healing for her next to the glowy. Notice the glowy gadget is the dash with the heal at the end, so that gives a bit of burst healing to Acre Lovers in a pinch when they need it, and we know just how hard it is to bring the BB down. The stopping power of the Fang stun is the centerpiece of New Heights' composition.
Well, New Heights Gaming, will they be able to make a utilization of that stun here at the goal line? Fire Merlo's making a nuisance. Yeah, knock him back. What? He's going to go for the breakaway. A super? Does he have the angle? Yes! So it's so beautiful for Acre Lovers. Finally start off with a bang late into the series.
That is wrong. And again, if it's wrong, I don't really want to be right. That's how powerful BB is right now. New Heights Gaming have to play with a bit more of an off-the-wall composition. Procy gets feared up straight away and is not able to get the healing that he needs before he backs off. So New Heights Gaming need to let this breathe a little more.
By the gameplay, you can sense that New Heights Gaming don't really take these guys seriously. There's no other reason to be soloing in a Fang super like that. Winona, all the way on offense, should be able to get this ball passed up to him. Looks like it could be a goal for New Heights Gaming as long as Winona can pass it across the goal line. It's good. New Heights Gaming tied up here. 1 goal separation from a victory in the series.
Okay, here is that BB hypercharge, empowered, of course, by the Buffy. So Murillo's going to have a shorter wind-up time on many of those attacks. And yes, the balls will split if they hit an opposing brawler. Prozzy goes deep here with that dive. Murillo healthy enough to try and get past and get towards Wesley, who's waiting on a reload. He doesn't get another super here from Murillo, but Prozzy just ignores it. Pass the ball to Winona. Murillo was on the wrong side of the action out of the game and stunned up, but Winona wasn't far enough forward to score.
Unreal DPS from the BB, but the rest of Acre Lovers is just not really able to catch up. Looks like Satisfier's also getting taken down pretty early by the Fang, punching deep into enemy territory. Look at him now. He's got that hypercharge on the right side, going right for the heart of the operation. Wesley wanted the push in, but Murillo backed him away. Did it a second time. Now that left side is closed off. If Murillo knows what's good for him, he could hypercharge forward. Looks like he baited that super out of Winona. That was the intelligence on the matchup. Going to go for the gadget to heal up a little bit. Wanted the next swing and the knockback to get a bit of additional healing, but won't get it now. Now has the healing from Satisfier, the positions here, the hypercharge out.
Yeah, just using the raw stats as Murillo knows just how powerful BB is with that flat movement speed and damage increase. Oh, Prozzy couldn't knock the super. It's an open goal, and Senin gets it through. Acre Lovers extended a lifeline here in Brawl Ball.
What are you doing? There is a player with the ball at your goal. Well, I should just stun the guy who's not there.
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
Just stun him forehead.
It's, well, but seriously, like no, this is not a like, hey, I'm a caster, I know better than you. This is what he should have done. And he didn't do it. It's so bizarre and messy. I cannot wrap my head around it.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I do think that this comp for New Heights Gaming has to think a little outside the box or outside the dimension of Meeple to find success against the raw power of this BB and glowy composition. However, it looked like a round peg in a square hole for New Heights Gaming in that round. Still, Senin with possession of the ball now. Prozzy able to intercept. That was a little close for comfort, though. Here's the super forward. Wesley left to deal with Satisfier as Winona is back off respawn.
Got to see that BB up and running for Acre Lovers. If they plan on making anything happen, it'll be a pass up to Fang. Looks like he has the stun active. Whoa, won't even need it. Got the timing, and Satisfier wasn't in position to get the CC on him. New Heights Gaming, this time within 1 goal of a match victory, this time without Acre Lovers being at that same score.
Acre Lovers at least getting a round off of New Heights Gaming in this series, but outside of that, it's about what you'd expect from a lesser-known name coming into the mix. Wesley with a hypercharge at the ready, so that is a healthy overshielding for New Heights Gaming. Mantas of Meeple, very timely. It's going to slow New Heights Gaming down, and Winona is going to get slurped dry. Prozzy going to be knocked into the back line, still able to take Satisfier down, and has developed a super here. Needs to have eyes there for this BB because Murillo is going to run Wesley down. Even Winona coming off spawn doesn't really want to tangle with the BB, and those balls will duplicate if they hit opponents. Murillo has enough health to get through. Winona at 100, though, is able to clear the ball.
Acre Lovers really felt like it was questionable whether they had a goal. Also just going to let Prozzy go to the other side. Prozzy supering into the box, not where he needs to go at all. Total waste of a super. He'll get it back for free because Acre Lovers love donating a supercharge with all the HP that they boast. It's not too much of an issue. However, that could have been a bigger play for New Heights Gaming, I must say. As long as they can hang on for 45 seconds, they're in the clear.
Okay, once again, hypercharge at the ready here for Wesley. Yeah, needs that right now. Not benefiting from the overshield, but he was too low at the time. Here's another Meeple super, but not one that can really be made use of by Senin right now. It's a run up the left-hand side, but Satisfier had the damage to bring Fang down, and Wesley's in an awkward position to defend this.
And Acre Lovers only really have one more chance to make this happen. And look, they have the tools for it. They have that hypercharge for BB. Wesley isolated on the left side. That's already bad business. Winona trying to be the hero. Manages to get the kill. Prozzy is still alive. Senin's going to have to do this. Oh my goodness, he has it. What? You gotta be kidding me. Acre Lovers, you have the win in your hand. Super into the box. It goes all the way over to the right side. And I just can't believe what I'm watching. It's a win for New Heights Gaming, but it's some of the messiest Brawl Stars I've ever seen in a monthly final.
Could have been a draw at the very least there for Acre Lovers, and New Heights Gaming have to know that they got away with absolute bloody murder in that round. That should have been a goal. The shot was a little bit off-center. We've seen it at the highest level. We've seen it at World Finals. I want to recall the Joker incident for 2024. It does happen to the very best players, but here, when Acre Lovers are fighting for survival in this quarterfinal, they're not going to forget that anytime soon.
I'll let you be the good cop. I'll be the bad cop. That was really, really bad.
You're the mad cop.
really bad moments in a row. I'm still at a loss for words for a couple of these plays. Thankfully, New Heights Gaming, they still get the 3-0, so it proves that they're by far the worthy victors in this match. Look at, gross. And after one from New Heights Gaming, I mean, both sides here, this is what I said last month. is I felt like New Heights Gaming's opponents made a bunch of mistakes that New Heights Gaming capitalized on. I'm getting the sensation of that once more. I'm still yet to be convinced of this squad.